Okay, first we have the Azure Dragon, a heroic fantasy saga, Artar Chronicles, book number 3, written by Vladimir Vasylenko. It is 312 pages, $5.99. It is not available on Kindle Unlimited. A lot of these Russian titles, when they get translated, don't initially come on Kindle Unlimited just because it costs so much. And they have it at other places sometimes for free to help promote it. And Kindle Unlimited requires exclusivity, so you'll get this a lot of times. But here's the author's description. He woke up at a strange, unfamiliar place, bound. The Steel Hounds is a clan filled with the most unique people in the fantasy world of Artar. And Mongoose's squad is not the only one in it. A real-life mercenary is the leader of its most resultative and savage brunch. And now Mongoose's life is in his hands. He has to resolve a feud between two old and powerful, irreconcilable enemies in his clan with a looming, interceding war of NPCs in the background. Being caught between Scylla and Charybdis, his personal goals are not set aside, and he is mastering his skills as a battle monk. Circumstances have developed fortunately and exactly in the location with their current mission. There is the Azure Dragon, the great altar of the elements of the tree. Okay, like folks, that's exactly what it said. Was not misreading that. That kind of tells you some of the issues with translation sometimes. Things don't always come out right. Here's the review portion of this. This one lost me a little. I'll be honest that and it's mostly because of the lack of lackluster RPG progression when it comes to the monk class. This was always kind of a lighter liberty story anyway. It's like the author in his author bio kind of brags and says, oh yeah, the thing that distinguishes him as a Russian language author from others is that he doesn't really like game mechanics. He's like a bunch of numbers in his stuff, so it always feels a little more towards fantasy. And that's definitely evident here in the third book in this series. There's still good action adventure stuff, good real life storylines with interesting quests. That's actually an enhancement from the other book in the series, that the real life stuff is moving in some weird twisted, or it's like kind of unforeseen twist that comes out of nowhere a little bit. But it's cool. It's not a bad storyline. But the things that I kind of liked about the series have been diminished as little RPG. The group dynamics of the Steel Hounds is absolute weekend. It feels like it almost feels like it's a different group here. Like it really is like a big shift from books 1 and 2 and 3 as far as like the group dynamics go. There's this weird forced suspicion thing happening in the storyline that just kind of ruins what was built up as good group bantering dynamics that was built in book 2. Also, the monk storyline in book 2 really kind of mimics the one from book 1 in that the main characters focus on completing quest to master an element. Only this time there's less training and exploration of this new element or monk powers, and there's like I said, a lot more limited RPG aspects here in a story that's already light on RPG stuff. And this kind of feels like a big loss because I mostly been reading this series because of how much I like the monk class, and I've always been curious about, okay, how would that storyline develop for that class? It's always been my favorite of mine to play in RPGs, whether it's tabletop or like video games. The monk has always been like a really fun class for me, and seeing it here was always exciting in book 1 and 2. Just in book 3, that part of the development cycle is just lessened, which means my enjoyment was lessened. Overall, the story just lost me. It minimizes the stuff I really liked about it, the RPG stuff, especially in the monk class details. But if you're into the series for the action and adventure aspects, that is still there. It really is. And the novel still might work for you. It just didn't for me because a lot of the other things that I enjoyed just were lessened and minimized or just didn't exist sometimes. And what is that? It's not bad writing. Some of the translation stuff is an issue. If you even read the novel description, you'll notice, oh, those aren't right words, or that's not correctly written. And that happens with translation. So let's be aware of that. For me, though, it gets a score of 6 out of 10. The Azure Dragon, a heroic fantasy saga, the Artar Chronicles, book number 3, with the score of, again, 6 out of 10.